So we're gonna go through all the steps. Whoa, 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 whoa. That's gonna be one of the steps.
No.
Okay. All right. Okay. So does this mat go up?
No, it's the
Oh, that's right. It's a broken one. Okay. All right. So we're good because her feet aren't touching. So both legs are gonna be non-weight bearing. We have bilateral calcaneal fractures. So what's the first thing we're gonna tell our patient or ask the patient?
To make sure they don't put pressure through their feet.
Right. So how are you gonna make sure that somebody that is bilateral non-weight bearing doesn't put weight on their feet?
Have their feet in the air.
What else can we do? Raise a mat, but we don't have a mat that works. So how are we going to have, what is a way we can secure both legs so that they don't go anywhere that we don't want them to?
Would you scoot it further back?
Sit further back.
All right? What do you think you would do if you were gonna have to carry her into that chair?
Have something supporting her legs.
Who's gonna support the legs? You are. So you're gonna squeeze them between your legs, okay? So you're gonna raise them slightly and you're gonna put them between your legs, okay? So you have to secure the lower extremity so that she doesn't accidentally put weight on them, okay? Now if you have bilateral missing limbs, then that's gonna be different, right? Because you don't have anything to secure support. You may be doing it just to make sure that we don't have anything against the residual limb, okay? So we wanna stay away from that residual limb, all right? So that in that case, you may not be touching the legs at all. It just depends. But if you have bilateral non-weight bearing, the only way you're gonna make sure your patient doesn't put weight on them is to secure them between your legs, okay?
You put something between like their knees so you're not, like, cause you would apply pressure to have to hold them.
Right. So you wouldn't do that with what?
Gate belt.
With an amputee. But you can do it with a patient that is bilateral non-weight bearing, because where is she affected? Okay, yeah. If you have to, you can put a pillow, but this would be with somebody that was like very, very frail. This is like your 90-year-old patient that has really like no skin to protect her, no adipose tissue at all, and she's gonna be bone on bone. If that's the case, then yeah, you would put like a towel or even like a little thin pillow so that her knees aren't gonna be crushed against each other. But I really don't think any of you are that bony.
I know, Abby has pretty messed up knees.
Right, and if you have muscle, that's gonna protect too. It's not just about size. Okay? All
They look
right.
good to me, bro.
So how are we gonna position the wheelchair? First, we need to ask our patient that what side, right, her strong or preferred side.
You're strong and preferred.
Okay. All right. So we're gonna fix the wheelchair. How are you gonna want to slide from that side to this side onto the wheelchair with the sliding board? Is she gonna go like this, directly perpendicular?
No.
No, she's gonna do a little arc. So how are you gonna position the wheelchair? Right, so you have to do what first?
Release.
Remove the leg rest. Absolutely. Okay?
Would you remove it or would you put it to the side? Like just
No,
to
remove.
Remove them completely because you're still gonna have things that are gonna be in the way.
And if they
Isn't
accidentally
that
come
a
into your way.
instant retest?
What?
If you show up with the leg rest
And
on?
then you need to move.
Well, you
Or-
do need to have the leg rest on.
Or I meant like off before.
I need to see you take them off,
Oh,
not that you forgot the leg rest, because that's a retest.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
And take off
All right.
the armrest.
Okay. Ideally, we would want what surface to be higher?
The
The
mat.
the mat.
The mat.
Use
The
gravity.
mat would ideally be a little higher so that she can allow gravity to work its magic. Okay? All right. What do we have to do now?
Take off the armrest.
Very good. If you forget this, automatic retest. Okay?
Would be both of them or just the one?
Just the one because your patient has to do what?
Hold
On
on.
the furthest one.
She's gonna be able to pull from that armrest. Okay? Very good. So now we're gonna instruct our patient.
To grab.
Okay, go ahead, instruct your patient.
Can you lean to your left side a little bit? So I can slide the sliding board under.
Right? Good. All right. All right, so now we have to make sure what? That we tell our patient, stay
Not
away
to
from
grab.
the edges and stay away from the openings. Okay? All right. So now I'm going to just kind of help Angel. All right. So when you tell your patient, I want you to lean to this side, what do we want to do? Facilitate. Facilitate so that she can actually unweight her bottom, right? Okay. That way she doesn't accidentally pinch herself too. Okay? All right, now go ahead and secure her legs.
So it'll just be like
So a little higher.
knee height.
Right, your knees a little higher on her legs. There we go. Okay, now the closer you are, center of gravity are closer to each other. You don't want to be over here, okay? So I'm just using you as a guide, okay? All right, so now you're going to scoot your patient Where?
To the right.
Okay, but what do you need to do first?
Place her hands.
Tell her where she's gonna put her hands.
Hands here on the board. And his hands support.
Okay.
To you. So you're gonna try and do a push-up.
Okay.
And I'll help guide you through the motion. We're gonna go in increments, so it's not one big motion.
What did we not give Angel? A level of assist. She is mod assist. So you can do about 50% of the work. Okay.
So on the count of 3, we'll push up and we'll try and get to where your hand is. Make sure you don't get your hands on the edges here or under the board so you don't squish your fingers.
Okay, so watch. What is the engagement of the lower extremities of the therapist? You have to keep that squat the whole time. You're gonna shimmy with the patient. So you stay in that position the entire time. All right.
And then does she lean into me a little bit?
Right. Is she gonna lean into him?
No.
She's gonna look at where she's going, reaching for the armrest. Okay? Always actively engaging the patient. Okay?
So on the count of 3, 1, 2, 3.
Okay? Yes, if you have shorts on, part of your skin is gonna kind of get stuck to the sliding board.
Okay.
And notice how the other side of the sliding board is exactly pointing to the center of the wheelchair. That's what you want. So good.
Okay, on the count of 3, 1, 2, 3. Ooh.
You just take care of the patient.
It's stuck to my skin.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay, again.
That's why I brought
Maybe
these
the
pants today.
There you go.
All right. So, was it the prettiest transfer ever? No. But the only person that mattered, the sliding board doesn't matter. What matters is your patient is secure. Okay? Is she going to be able to push ideally from that position? No, because the sliding board isn't where it was supposed to be. But considering that she's got shorts on, your patients may have gowns on and nothing else underneath. You need to either, just make sure that you're going to be secure, or put a pillowcase over underneath them. Okay? So that may be what you have to do, just depending on what your patient is wearing. Okay?
So for someone that might be a max, well, the pillow sheet, would you put over the sliding board or would you put just on top so it slides?
I would put it on the side that's going to come towards the.
Yeah, I know, but my question is like,
Okay.
would you put just like this so she kind of
Oh no, fit it on the sliding board.
Okay.
Yeah. And you may have to use 2. If your patient's a little bigger, then you may need to use 2 because you don't want the patient to stick. So if somebody's smaller, you can just put it on one side because that's the side they're going to be slick. You want them to be a little slicker on. Okay. All right. What else do we need to tell the patient now?
To keep her. Well, first I need to put this on.
All right. So
Keep your feet
Kat
under
actually
the-
went all the way back in the seat. Your patient may end up scooch forward a little bit.
I was gonna say, I'm actually kind of slouched.
Okay, all right. So this is where most of your patients are gonna end up. So you have to keep your legs on your patient. So go ahead and reposition the legs, okay? And now you're gonna tell your patient to push from the armrest.
That I
There
need
you
to
go.
put on.
All right, good. All right, so now you're gonna tell patient to reach for the armrest and they're gonna help themselves scoot back. Good, all right, good. And then, what do you do now?
Put the leg.
Do you let the legs down at all?
No.
So where do your leg rests have to end up?
Goes to you.
Those leg rests better be right next to you. or you're gonna break the non-weight bearing precautions.
So
From the
would
floor.
you just like leave it on the bed right next to it?
All right, so what can you do there? Angel, what can you do there? Do you have to stay, bless you, do you have to stay in this position?
No.
What can you do? Grab both of the legs and then you're going to do this, right? And then you're gonna put the leg rest on one side and then you're gonna put the leg rest on the other side.
Body mechanics.
So again, if you haven't practiced with the leg rest, what are you gonna do right here?
Yeah, that's
Oh, right, you're not gonna know what to do.
Oh, we could do that with the
Yeah, you can put the legs
That's
on your
pretty
knee.
smart.
Yeah.
That's it.
Do you have to undo more than one drive wheel?
No.
No, you just need one. Very good.
Can you always put, like, well, can you at all?
Mhm.
Put one leg rest and then put the patient's legs on there while you put the other leg
Both of them?
rest?
No.
Yes, no? Okay.
Only one at a time.
Okay.
One at a time, yes. You can do that. So what kind of leg rest would this patient have needed?
Elevated.
Elevating leg rest. That's the only way you can ensure your patient's not gonna accidentally put weight on it. So picking the right leg rest is very important.
And would you set the elevation of the leg rest before you put the feet on there? Or?
I wouldn't let go of the legs until I elevated it. Yeah. Okay. All right. So there's some considerations, right? Most of this will have been prep ahead of time. Okay. So if you already know that you're going to do a specific transfer, you get everything ahead of time, you set it up, and then you don't have to worry about that much when you're doing the transfer. Okay. All right.